recording. And hey, we don't have to do the 3, 2, 1 beep thing anymore. Just got to get this out of my way so I can look at your stupid face. I mean, your beautiful face, Matthew.
Thank you.
It's just so gorgeous. So, today, we are doing... Sorry, it's on the wrong monitor. You can edit this out in post. All right. So, welcome back to Chris and Matt Talk About That. And we already discussed about why it's Chris first, so we don't need to go over that again. Today, we're going to talk about it's the second episode, kind of, but it's technically episode 3 because MSR counts as 2 episodes. It's called Past Prologue. And there's a few interesting bits of trivia about this episode. It's the first appearance of Garrick, which is cool. I didn't realize how early Garrick had been put into the show. I knew it was season 1, but I didn't realize it was the second episode. He did so well in this episode that they wanted him to come back. Andrew Robinson, who's the actor who played Garrick. It was the second most watched episode of the entire season. Had a Nielsen rating of 13.4%. I don't know what that means, but apparently it's good.
Means 13 out of all the people that had their TVs on at that time. 13.4% was
that's pretty good.
Watching.
That's really
back
good.
in the day, you could get huge shares like that. Nowadays, it's impossible. TV's so fragmented.
Mm-hmm. And it was fun because you got to see the Duras sisters. Interesting trivia about this episode. We'll talk a little bit more about it. Is that this episode is why the Enterprise D was destroyed in Generations. We'll get there. We'll get there. So,
well, I want to say the episode's written by Catherine Powers.
Yes.
So she is one of the lead writers at the beginning of Stargate SG-1.
I can feel that. I can feel that in this episode.
She wrote what is widely considered to be the worst episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. So if you were to take a stab, what episode do you think that is?
Sub Rosa?
Sub Rosa's the Ghost season?
Yeah.
No. Season 1. It's going to be a season 1 episode. You're not going to think of it when I say it.
Is it the Naked Now?
That's an excellent guess. No. The worst episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation is Code of Honor. Which is where...
Yeah.
In her defense, so Code of Honor is a TNG episode where the aliens are basically an African tribe.
Yeah.
And they are trying to abduct Yar.
Mm-hmm. It's real bad.
And in her defense, then originally the aliens were supposed to be like reptiles, and it was really like most of TOS is supposed to, or like most of the first season of Next Generation, it was supposed to be really derivative of the original series. And I think
it felt like it was out of the 60s, that's for sure.
I think the idea was to make it less derivative. They were going to make it humans or cost cutting. I don't know, but this episode is much better than that one. So this is a bit of a redemption for her. The episode title, the episode title is Past Prologue.
Yes.
So that comes from Shakespeare's The Tempest. What the line from The Tempest is, what's past is prologue, meaning what happened before predicts what will happen next. The Tempest is a comedy in the historical sense, about being trapped on an island and choosing between vengeance and forgiveness. And we'll get into the plot, but Kira in this episode is sort of trapped in her own conundrum, having to choose between idealism and reality and between violence and diplomacy.
Yeah.
If you're done with trivia, I do have one crazy piece of trivia.
One more crazy. Okay. Crazy piece.
So the Cardassian captain in this
Admiral Forrest.
Admiral Forrest?
The actor plays Admiral Forrest in Enterprise.
Okay, well, this is the trivia. The actor's name is
Vaughn Armstrong,
and he holds the record of playing 12 different characters over 28 episodes of The Next Generation, DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise, including Captain Chorus, a Klingon in season 1's TNG Heart of Glory. In Deep Space Nine, he plays this Goldenar Cardassian. He plays another Cardassian called Sisko in a season 7 episode. In Voyager, he plays Dr. Telek Ramor, a Romulan. And Lansor, or 2 of 9, a former Borg drone.
I just watched that episode, actually.
Was once assimilated alongside 7 and 9. He plays a Vidian captain in season 6.
Vidian, actually.
Vidian. He plays Alpha Hirogen. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Hirogen Hunters, season 7 episode Flesh and Blood. Korath, a Klingon. There's Klingons in Voyager.
Yes.
In the series finale Endgame.
So I have one more piece of trivia about Vaughn Armstrong. He is an amazing human being. I have met him.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. So I went to a Star Trek convention way back in 2010, and the package I had bought included one of those celebrity dinner things where they walk around and they go to each table and talk to the people for a little bit and then they leave. Right. That's usually what they can leave after they've visited every table.
I would be so worried about that being awkward.
I think most people are. I am somewhat gregarious at times, and we had kind of found all the other gregarious people at one table, and we called ourselves Table Kapla. We just come shouting random words in Klingon, which I don't know any words in Klingon other than like Kapla, Patach, and Chadich. So, I mean, I don't know a whole lot. They kept coming back because we were having a great time. So Armin Shimmerman talked to us for a little bit. Max Grodenchik, who played Rom.
Armin Shimmerman, who plays Quark. I just watched a movie called The Hitcher that he was in.
Yeah, he looks like an alien. There's a reason he played Quark. Anyway, so they kept stopping by our table, but the contract or the dinner ended at midnight. But we could stay as long as we wanted. And some of these guys stayed a little bit, and then they, went back. Vaughn Armstrong was only there for that day of the convention. So his contract ended at midnight, and then he was flying out the next morning at 6 a.m. He waited until 12:30 so that there was no mistake that his contract was over, came back, visited every table with people still at it, let us take pictures, signed stuff for us, hung out with us and said, hey, I don't have to pay Creation's not paying me anymore. I'm just doing this because I love you guys. I love Star Trek, and I think this is great, and you guys are awesome. So thanks for making it all worthwhile.
That's awesome.
And I have a picture of me standing next to him, and he's just a wonderful human being. I can't talk enough good things about Vaughn Armstrong. So Vaughn, if you ever listen to this, you're awesome. I will never forget that night.
Well, if you're 12 different characters in 28 episodes, he's a good actor. He must like it.
He's also a good actor.
He's awesome in this episode.
So the episode, basically it goes down like this. So it opens up with Garak and Bashir. The cold open is Garak and Bashir. Bashir, I think, is sitting at a table, and then Garak comes and sits down, wants to talk to him.
This is the first time we see Garak.
Yeah, it's the first time we see a Cardassian on the station.
He's not the pilot, right?
Yeah, he's not in the pilot at all. And he introduces himself as plain simple Garak, as a tailor, and says, but some people think I represent Cardassian interests on the table or on the station, but I assure you I'm just plain simple Garak, and unsettles Bashir, because Bashir is played very naive in this episode. He's young. The actor's young, and Bashir's clearly very young too, and they play off of that inexperience. At the same time, there is a distress call from a Bajoran ship that's being chased by a Cardassian.
Well, if I can just cut back to Garak real quick. It's interesting how he's written. So in like modern TV, I think they would give kind of a mystery, like, oh, we think he's a spy, but is he? This just right off the bat, okay, this character is a spy. There's no mystery about it.
He tells you he's not a spy.
Yeah, but the episode, it just makes it so clear. Okay, this guy's a spy.
But he's not a spy. He's a plain simple tailor. When you watch the whole show, it's clear that he is not a spy. But he does have contacts in the Cardassian Union.
So what's interesting is, in reality, this happens in real life where you have spies. Espionage is such a weird thing where it's like, we all know we're spying on each other, and and I know, and I know. that I know and you know.
Yes.
And so there are real spies who the governments will use to communicate with the other government. Spies you know that are in your country, and they know and you know that they're a spy. So like an example of this is during the Cold War when John F. K was president, there's a guy named Georgy Bolshakov, who's real affable, likable editor of Russian Life, which back then was known as USSR magazine. And he was actually a high-ranking GRU officer.
Again.
Sorry, I don't know who would message me right
every
now.
time.
Ashley.
It's your fault, Ashley. You should feel bad.
She should. So the Bolshakov, sorry, I'm going to butcher his name here. Bolshakov was actually a high-ranking GRU officer, and Robert Kennedy would meet with him all the time. And just to give you an example, and I think this comes up in DS9, how governments will also manipulate their own spies, is that Robert Kennedy went and asked him, hey, are these missiles they're putting in Cuba, are any of them offensive? Now, the Soviet Union had told Bolshakov that, no, they're just defensive missiles, which was a lie.
Right.
And the United States government discovered that that was a lie, and so Robert Kennedy felt like he was burned. But in reality, the Soviet Union had manipulated Bolshakov to spread this lie to them. So, and then you can look this guy up. It's real interesting story. But the way Garrick is this kind of low-key intermediary that skips the diplomats. It's a more direct line where your lines aren't getting infiltrated and
they tell you that in the
subverted.
episode, because right after that cold open, right after the opening credits, it's Bashir in ops, not the bridge, in ops, talking to people, going, Garrick spoke to me. I don't know why he reached out to me. He wants to talk to me. He probably wants medical. So he goes on this whole thing saying, oh, you should wire me, and everyone's like, you need to calm down. I kind of loved his naivete in this episode. It kind of reminded me of The Office. It was like Dwight being told something, you know? And so Bashir is Dwight in this thing. He's taking it way more seriously than he should. I will say what bothered me about the cold open and the whole thing was, oh my gosh, the acting was pretty rough. And this whole episode, the acting was kind of, you could tell nobody has chemistry yet. And
there is one scene, and we'll get to, I think, has great acting.
Yes, there is some great acting in it.
One in particular, I think, but the acting brings the dialogue to a higher level.
Andrew Robinson in that first scene and Alexander Siddig in that first scene, they don't have the chemistry that they have later. You can tell they didn't really know each other, and the dialogue is very in your face, very slow and distinct, almost like it was a stage play. And I don't know if either of those actors have stage experience. You can tell Avery Brooks does, the way he is very large with his movements and facial expressions. So I think there's a lot of history of Star Trek actors coming from a theater background rather than a film background, because acting for film and theater is very different. Anyway, so next up we get, right after Bashir's like, oh, the Cardassian's trying to talk to me. He's a spy, and he's going to talk to me. I'll keep our medical secrets safe. And then distress call from a Bajoran ship that's being attacked by a Cardassian warship. The Cardassian warship blows up the Bajoran ship, like doesn't stop attacking it or chasing it. And there's only one person on board, and Transporter Chief Miles Edward O'Brien does his thing, and they save the passenger, who is someone named Tana Los, who wants political asylum on the station. And you find out that
Kira knows him.
Yes, you find out that he knows Kira. And
they have a past.
They have, a past. And we find out immediately that the Cardassian commander, Vaughn Armstrong, demands Tana's return, saying that he's a terrorist with the Konma, which is, I guess, is Al Qaeda or something for the Bajorans.
Right.
But they're more like ISIS. I think
the Bajorans consider them to be extreme.
Yes, they are still fighting the Cardassians despite the fact that Cardassians are no longer on Bajor. And he's like, this guy's a criminal. He's a war criminal and a terrorist. And you have to give him to me. And Sisko goes, well, he's requested asylum. And Gul Dunar goes, you haven't given it to him. And he said he hadn't decided yet, but he was going to let him know. Right?
There's a scene where Sisko and Kira, like, I think either before they beam him over, right after, they get into an argument, and it kind of shows the tension between the Bajorans and the Federation in a way. And it made me think, because you might, like, my always assumption is like, oh, the Bajorans asked for the Federation to be there as a stalwart against the Cardassians. The Cardassians might have made it part of their peace treaty that, no, you have to administer this base. We're not letting the Bajorans administer this space base. No way.
Yeah, I don't know.
To make this peace treaty work, you guys are going to have to come in and administer.
Yeah, because otherwise we're going to fight them again. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. That's an interesting take. It does make sense because they're saying, well, if the Federation leaves, the Cardassians are just going to come back. So, but I think that's also part of having the wormhole there. I think the idea is that whatever the Cardassians are on Bajor for, they got enough of, and they don't need Bajor anymore, and it's just too big of a pain. So the Resistance basically won. They made it painful enough for the Cardassians that they were going, we'll leave. A
lot of the pre-DS9 politics between the Cardassians and Bajor, and then combat with the Federation is kind of a mystery in a way, because I kind of get the sense that the Bajor would not have ever been free, that they weren't freed from terrorism. They were freed because the Federation was more technologically advanced and basically made it untenable.
But Bajor isn't a Federation member. Right, but I mean, the Federation
was in war with Cardassians.
Yes,
right?
but that's unrelated to the occupation of Bajor.
Okay.
It's unrelated to it.
All right.
So that's why it's kind of all a little weird, right? Because Bajor's war with Cardassia is different than the Federation's war with Cardassia.
Okay.
And so that's why it's this real uneasy piece, because everybody's fought each other before, right? Well, the Federation and Bajor seem like natural allies, except the Bajorans are they have their wacko terrorist moments that make even the Federation going, they're making the Cardassians go, whoa, okay. Because the Cardassians are a cruel fascist society in the vein of every fascist space society that you see, right? It's that they're supposed to be either 1939 Germans or Mussolini in the 40s. That's who they're supposed to be. Right. It's a military dictatorship, or North Korea or something. So, but the Bajorans are, we've talked about it last time, they're supposed to be, they're the Jews, but they're also the Palestinians, and they're also, basically, if you can think of an oppressed people that's had to resort to terrorism to try and take their land back, that's who the Bajorans are.
Right, yep.
So they are willing to and have crossed many lines trying to take their planet back. And it's hard to argue with that, but you can also look at the things they've done and go, whoa, you shouldn't have done that. And this Konma is the worst of the worst, because even the Bajorans are like, no way. You guys are nuts. You guys are terrorists. The Cardassians can have you.
And Tana admits this, by the way.
Yes, he does. He admits that he was Konma when they wake him up. But you were talking about the Kira and Sisko scene, and I have one note from that scene, and that is Sisko is very physical. He straight up grabs her arm.
Yeah.
To talk to her. And I was like, whoa, okay, all right, that's not going to fly in 2026, but apparently in the 24th century, it's all kosher and okay. So, but he's like, is he good for his word? We got to go talk about this. And then he wakes up in the infirmary, and Kira immediately intervenes, going, he hasn't granted your asylum yet. He's trying to decide. And Sisko's like, all right, get out.
Yeah. Kira is obviously extremely biased, and has already judged him like innocent, and that he should be, that the Bajoran should bring him in. And and pardon them. And
Yeah.
Sisko, obviously,
He's in a tough spot.
yes.
Because, okay,
The
this guy's
Cardassians are right.
yeah, he's a terrorist.
Yes, the Cardassians are justified for wanting this man arrested.
Yeah, because he literally he interviews him and says, hey, have you committed acts against the Cardassians since the war and since the occupation was over? And Tanalos says, to his credit, being honest, frankly, yes, I have. And Sisko's like, all right. So you can see him thinking this is going to be really, really complicated. But Tana also says, well, I don't want to be Konma anymore. I want to leave that life behind me. And Kira, while this conversation is going on, makes she goes full Karen and calls Sisko's boss.
Dude, Star Trek. Sorry, finish. She calls the Admiral, right?
Yeah, she calls the Admiral and going, hey, I think Sisko's going to mess this up. You can't let him mess this up. And the Admiral's like, I'll keep this under advisement.
Star Trek loves a good scene where someone goes over the head of a captain and talks to the Admiral.
They do love it.
I swear that happens a dozen times in TNG. Like, if you watch enough Star Trek, there's common like tropes that happens in these episodes.
Well, it's a very realistic thing. When you are worried that your boss isn't going to do the right thing or what you think is the right thing, I'll go talk to his boss, right? There's been times I've had to talk to my boss's boss before at work, but I've usually spoken to my boss first and I go, hey, I want to find out what this person thinks about this too. You know, I'm not blindsided. Kira straight up just calls, your guy's screwing up. You got to bring him in line, basically.
Yeah, there's definitely a art of threading the needle.
As I said last time, Kira's strong suit is not diplomacy. She's very competent. She can do anything she puts her mind to, but she does not want to put her mind to diplomacy. She wants to get her way, the way she wants it, exactly how she wants it, because she thinks that she knows what's going on. And to be fair, she has expertise in this area because she knows Tana and she doesn't trust the Cardassians and she fought the Cardassians, right? So she's a subject matter expert, but she's also very close to the situation.
There is a scene in this part, the first time that Kira and Tana are by themselves in Tana's quarters after he gets out of the infirmary. And Kira says to him, it's such a funny moment to me. She says, how long has it been since you slept in a comfortable bed? And he replies, you can get used to this pretty quickly. And while he replies, he slaps the most uncomfortable looking vinyl covered board.
Yes.
There's maybe 3/4 of an inch of padding, and the whole thing's not even padded.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so Bajorans like to sleep on torture racks, apparently. That is not a comfortable bed.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
And they're not saying it as a joke. Like, she's genuinely like, oh man, you're gonna love this comfy bed over here. And yes, it is. It's a vinyl covered board.
Like, I'm sure whatever the seat was on his starship was more comfortable than the bed. She was like, man, this baby's got so many comforts in it.
You
can fit so much comfortable in this bed.
It really looks like it's something that the set designers made for the infirmary. Like,
yeah, I think it was. I thought they were on the infirmary set.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I thought they were on the infirmary set, and then they turn, and I'm like, oh no, this is a core. What? Where are we? And I'm wondering if they just didn't have the quarters set ready for some reason.
Maybe it was written to be a joke, and it's supposed to be like a Cardassian bed from.
Maybe, I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah,
and the acting doesn't really sell anything in it either. In that scene.
Maybe the actors didn't read that it's supposed to be funny. I don't know. Yeah, there's something missed in it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. Let's see. So yeah, they talk to each other. He swears to her that he's not Koma, but says, hey, there's 2 more people coming. Can we get them to come in and request asylum as well? Because in that scene, Sisko has decided to grant him asylum because he believes in. He's like, okay, I'll give him a chance. I gotta take him at his word because we want these people to come in and give up their activities in exchange for amnesty and asylum. So we know where they are. Or in exchange for asylum, he can't control amnesty. Right. And he tells the Cardassian commander very much like, hey, he can't live here forever. So when he goes to Bajor, you're welcome to take it up with them. Because at that point, the legal process can take place and he won't have asylum on DS9 anymore. It won't be Federation asylum. He'll have been remitted into Bajoran custody and you can follow whatever the law process is there. Because obviously Cardassian and Bajor have some kind of normalized relations at this point.
And at that point, the Tana expresses to Kira that he's not happy with the Federation.
Oh yeah.
He wants to be completely independent.
He wants Bajor for Bajor and only for Bajor.
When I had originally written my notes for this, I kind of had a nitpick that he was still targeting the Cardassians, and he should be committing his terrorism against the Federation at this point. And the second time I watched the episode through, I was wrong. That it is written such that he is wanting to get the Federation out.
Yeah.
And the fact that he wants to destroy the wormhole makes sense in the narrative.
Spoilers, Matt.
Yeah. But man, Kira's reaction and all that, it made me really wish this had been Ensign Ro. It would have been an interesting dynamic. I think a better dynamic with Ro, because she had already had a rocky history with the Federation.
Right, yeah.
So this dynamic of like wanting to push the Federation out is already an internal struggle within herself, because she was, for you guys don't know, TNG, Ensign Ro is this character, the first Bajoran we ever see, one of the most interesting characters in Star Trek history, I think. She is someone who was court-martialed, and we don't know why. She wouldn't follow an order, and because she wouldn't follow an order, people died. And we get the sense that it was something that was against her morals. She had some kind of order that went against her morals, and she didn't do it, and Starfleet officers died because of it, and she was court-martialed, and eventually Picard brings her back and gets her back into Starfleet. And she's a character with a lot of self-turmoil and a lot of struggle. She's strongly Bajoran, but here she is working in this kind of international UN kind of...
And for that organization, not as like a representative Bajor, but literally she's a Starfleet officer. So
right. I think that dynamic would have been... I like Kira. It's about as good as replacement as you can do, but I think the dynamic of having Ro I would have enjoyed more.
And I think honestly in these first episodes, I think Nana Visitor, the woman who plays Kira, is the second best actor in the whole cast.
Yeah.
The only actor who's better is Renee Auberjonois, who plays Odo.
So we're probably going to talk about the same scene then.
Yes,
because the best scene in the show is this episode is between those two actors.
Yes, and that's the scene that I knew. As soon as you said the acting made it better, I'm like, yeah, okay, there's that scene.
Yeah.
But so all this has happened, and he tells the Cardassian, hey, off you go, off you pop. We're not giving him to you, and then Tana starts talking to Kira about his distrust of the provisional government, and he drops little hints like, maybe we do need to still fight a little bit. And at the same time, we see two very familiar characters join our favorite sisters, Lursa and B'Etor, who, if you don't remember, they are the sisters Duras.
The council knew.
The council knew.
I love
Gowron.
I love Gowron so much. Gowron is the character in TNG. So
with the eyes.
Yes. So in TNG, there is this whole Klingon plot with
it's great.
Worf,
it's a great
which
arc.
I love, and it's an arc over several seasons. And the Duras family basically screws over Worf's family. And Gowron is this guy who is competing to be the leader of the Klingons. And Worf supports him to become High Chancellor over Duras. Duras ends up getting killed, but I just love the actor that plays Gowron. And everything that happens with Gowron in DS9 is non-canon, never happened, and doesn't exist.
Irremotic syndrome.
Irremotic syndrome, yes.
In this case, it's the writing team that has the Irremotic syndrome.
Did you like having the Duras sisters in this episode? So she's the leader's brother, and the Duras sisters become a bigger character than the original Duras himself.
Yeah,
he's only in one episode, and then he gets killed. Right?
Yeah, they kill him in the first episode, I think.
Or maybe he's in.
I think it's Redemption Part 2 that they kill him. I think it's the second Klingon episode.
He's in 2 episodes.
Yeah, I think it's the second episode, and Worf kills him.
Yes, because You guys should watch TNG.
Yeah,
it's an
watch
awesome
TNG.
moment.
This is about DS9. Let's watch TNG.
Yeah.
You should watch DS9 as well. DS9's really good. So
it's clear that the Star Trek showrunners liked these They're both Canadian actresses, by the way, which I thought was
they're
funny.
great. I met them as well.
Oh, really?
They were at that same.
That's awesome.
They were at, so I as soon as Barbara Walsh, I'm like, oh my gosh, the Duras sisters are in this, because I knew that, because I spoke to them. They hung out at the table a little bit. We're yelling Qapla'. They played Klingons. They were having a great time.
I don't know if you guys knew, but Chris is a Trekkie. I don't know if you guys knew that by now.
says the guy co-hosting a Star Trek podcast.
Excuse me, I'm a Trekker. I'm a Trekker.
We're done.
Chris is walking away from the mic. Just threw his headset down. Just slammed the door.
Get out of here. You can't take yourself seriously.
If anybody hasn't watched the Trekkies documentary, it is something else. It is really funny.
Yeah. So anyway, so the Duras sisters show up, and the introduction is, Odo's trying to take their disruptors from them, because you're not allowed to have weapons on the station unless you're station security or Starfleet. And they grudgingly give the weapons over. But I saw them, and what struck me when I hit it, I think did I say a note? Yeah. I said, I love seeing the Duras sisters, though it's clearly an attempt to engender goodwill by bringing more TNG characters in.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
So Odo wants to arrest them, and because he used to work with the Cardassians, right?
Yeah.
When the Cardassians ran Deep Space Nine, and he's kind of lamenting that this new Federation doesn't they have rule of law and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. That's nice in this episode. Does the Federation and Klingons have a treaty, and it's a long-lasting treaty?
I'm pretty sure they have an extradition treaty with the Klingons. Do you think
these aren't just simple thieves? These are murderers and insurrectionists.
The thing is, so here's the thing: Deep Space Nine is not Federation territory. It is it is a Bajoran station administrated by the Federation, right? So it's not Federation space.
DS9 apologist over here.
Oh, no, not an apologist. They are not in Federation space. It is Bajoran space. They have not committed a crime in Bajoran space. We're not in international waters. Where the rule of law is Bajor. Now, it's Benjamin Sisko's fault that the Enterprise D was destroyed in Generations.
Yeah. So explain to the people why.
So, the Duras sisters are in Generations. Generations movie, which is, honestly, the movie's pretty strong for the first half, and then it falls apart in the last half.
We're going to do an episode with that one day with our friend Mike,
he loves Generations.
He loves it. It's his favorite Star Trek movie. We kid, but he is a defender.
It's the second best TNG movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the bar's not high, but it's the second best. I will say that we're not talking about Generations. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, we're not going there. So it's Benjamin Sisko's fault. It's Ben Sisko's fault that if he had arrested the Duras sisters, they would have been sent back to Kronos. And the Klingons, when they're faced with people who are treasonous, they are not like the Federation where they throw them in jail and try to rehabilitate them. No, they stab them with a mek'leth and say, you've been dishonored, go to Greythor. You're dead. Okay, moving on. If they were dead, they would not have partnered with Soren in Generations to help him get his fancy torpedo into the Nexus, and they would not have used Geordi's already not patched security flaw in his visor to find the shield frequency of the Enterprise D so they could shoot their torpedo and hit that one torpedo on the warp section of the Enterprise D, which led to the warp core breach, which destroyed it.
So what Chris is basically saying is that Sisko kills Captain Kirk with his cold hands.
Yeah. Well, no, kills him the second time, because if that hadn't happened, Kirk would have just stayed in the Nexus. So he was already dead. Right?
Yeah.
So, but worse than that, he's dead, Jim. Worse than that, he killed the Enterprise D.
Yes.
I am dead serious. I hate it when a ship goes into space dock and comes out looking all sovereign class.
Oh, dude.
That, by the way, that is a Lower Decks quote, and you would love that episode.
Oh, man. That's so funny.
Anyway, moving on from that, it's fun seeing the Duras sisters. So basically, Sisko's like, just follow him, keep an eye on him. And Odo does by turning into a rat and following them, and finds out that the Duras sisters are meeting with our friend Tanalos. And he's supposed to pay them for something. He doesn't have it. They threaten his life because they're Klingons and they leave. He says, I'll get it. I just need time. And
basically we learn this guy's not reformed.
Yeah.
He's still a terrorist.
And at the same time...
Well, I have a question on that.
ahead.
So I believe, and someone else wrote this, terrorism is the price of empire. I think that's a truth. So when you have like large land masses, diverse groups of people that are controlled by a small elite, it's going to end up with kind of antisocial behavior and eventually terrorism against the controlling class. That's what, with empire all through time, all empires have had rebellions and terrorism. The United States experiences this, obviously.
We're American, if you can't tell.
The Federation is kind of the United States. The Federation would no doubt have terrorism against it, right? I always kind of see the Federation as this group of planets.
The Maquis commit acts against the Federation as well as against the Cardassians. More against the Cardassians, but yes.
They don't really show this in a lot of Star Trek. DS9 a little, because DS9's willing to get out there.
Yeah.
But I always kind of see the Federation as like the elites are the humans and the Vulcans. The humans and Vulcans kind of run the Federation.
And the Andorians, don't forget them.
Okay.
And the Tellarites. But it's more expensive to show them because it takes more makeup. So it's humans and Vulcans all the time.
But I always see it like, okay, us and Vulcans, we are kind of these, like, we agree stoicism is a virtue. And so like they kind of control the ethos of the Federation.
Yeah.
And if you're going to join the Federation, you have to just fall in line with what those beliefs.
Well, you come up and they show up and, hey, them's the rules. If you want to join, you can join. You gonna join? You should join.
Yeah, exactly.
You should really join.
That you're making such a good. That's what DS9 really gets into, is that there's an episode later.
Bajor, do you want to join the Federation?
Yeah,
we've got quantum torpedoes. So it's that kind of thing.
Well, Picard straight up tells Sisko, like, part of your mission here is to get the Federation.
Yeah. So the
Federation's doesn't say, like, do they want to join? No,
they're imperialists, but they're imperialists
100%.
through soft power, not hard power.
100%.
It's post World War II United States.
Yes,
right. Pre-current era, I think.
That's kind of what makes DS9 different. It's what makes it a good Star Trek. It does get off the beaten path of Star Trek. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which in some ways I'm a little uncomfortable with, but you kind of have to, because it gets into this great questions of, hey, is this human utopia? Is this really a utopia? Like, for maybe you it is, but is it for other people,
Yeah. So, at the same point,
this is Garrick and Bashir, right?
Yeah. Garrick and Bashir meet again. And Garrick
This is so funny.
Garrick's like,
Bashir is so dumb.
He's so stupid in this episode. Garrick says, like, oh, doctor, please enhance my evening. Andrew Robinson is playing Garrick as possibly the most, it might be the gayest coded character I have ever seen in Star Trek. And a lot of people actually like that in there. I'm not saying I dislike it, but there are a lot of the LGBT folks saw Garrick as as self-representation in there. And honestly, we talked about, how to do representation. This is how you do it. This kind of thing where it's like, oh yeah, I mean, this guy kind of acts gay. He could be gay. Maybe he won't. I could see Garrick crushing on Bashir a little bit. Like, maybe that's why he grabbed him. He goes, oh, this one's pretty.
But I always just thought, like, Bashir is the one person on the spaceship that's nice to Garrick. So Garrick's like, all right, I'm going to give you all the glory. You're going to be the one that gets the glory.
There's that,
and Bashir is so naive and stupid that Garrick has to literally, like, grab his hand and say, look, idiot, show up at 2250. There's going to be a terrorist there, and you're going to hear it, so you can reply back. Like,
he says, like, those terrorists are interesting, and those Duras sisters are interesting.
Yeah.
And this is actually after we've seen the Duras sisters met with Garrick to offer to sell Tana to the Cardassians after they're done with him. After they met with Tana, because they just want money, right? These Klingons are going full Ferengi here. Like, Quark would be jealous of the scam they've gone on. And they actually pull it off. They get their cash and they're gone.
Yeah.
Like, they get everything they want.
It is a great grift, honestly.
And they run off to go destroy the Enterprise D. Thanks, Sisko. See, this is why he's not my favorite. Anyway, so Garrick goes, okay, those guys are interesting. I
should interrupt you. There is an enormous Lego Enterprise D right above Chris's head right now. So if you're wondering why it's such a personal thing, that this man is just 2 degrees away from
that one's my favorite. I have an enormous model of the motion picture Enterprise a little farther back.
That one's pretty awesome.
But I love them both. They're both my children.
Enterprise D is my favorite.
They're not actually my children. If I have very strong opinions about people calling things children that aren't children.
Yeah, your fur baby. It's not your fur baby.
No, it's a dog. It's a cat. It's you can love it. It's okay to love pets, but they're not children. No. Anyway, moving on. I just made every animal lover angry.
Listenership just cut in half.
Speaking of terrorism, here they come. Anyway, so. Bashir is dumb in this scene, and it's hilarious. So Bashir's like, terrorist, what? Is like looking around, and Garrick's like, actually, doctor, I think it's time for you to visit my shop and come buy a new suit. You should come by at 23:55 tonight by my shop. We'll get you into a new suit. A new suit? Yes. Doctor, you need to be in my shop. He grabs his wrist.
Yeah.
For a new suit at exactly 23:55. Oh. And he like looks out at the terrorists again.
Yeah.
And I you can tell like Andrew Robinson plays it. He does it well here. You can see it's doing everything in his power not to just rub his forehead like, oh my gosh, why did I pick this one? I should have just sent Sisko an email.
I like to think that Garrick is actually like extremely experienced in espionage. Like he is.
You don't remember his character, do you?
I have forgotten the show mostly. I like to think that you're
going to have fun coming back to this in the future.
Like he's not just like, he's not new at this. This isn't his first rodeo.
I get that too with him. So that happens, and Bashir ends up talking to Sisko about it, and Sisko's
time for a new suit.
Like, why are you talking to me? You should have already been there. Meanwhile, Odo's sitting in his office, and Kira walks in and starts asking about preparations about something, and Odo says, "Yeah, I got it done because I'm competent." Basically,
well, Tana had pushed for Kira. Tana's been like straight up.
Yeah.
He's more honest with her at this point. He's like, something's going to happen. We're going to go out.
You should join us, and we need a ship.
Yes.
He's like, we need a warp-capable ship, and we need your help. Will you help us? I'm still Kon Ma. And she's like, I can't believe this. And he's like, I knew you're weak Federation, this, that, and the other. And
well, importantly for Kira, he says he's going to target the Federation. It's not.
Yeah, this isn't the Cardassians. It's the Federation, and he does promise that no one will get hurt. He does say that in that conversation.
You know, he's an honest character because he is being honest.
He is the most honest terrorist I've ever seen portrayed. and honestly, I think it's important because they kind of make you like him a little bit. They don't make you hate him. You can tell he's sneaking around, but they make him respectable.
Right, yeah.
And that's something that DS9 does really well with a lot of its villains. The characters can be flawed. They can have motivations that are absolutely opposed to normal heroic values, but you kind of respect where they're coming from, right? So he talks to her and says, this thing's going down with or without you, but we really need you. It'd be easier if you just got us the ship. And so she's in a bad place.
Well, he presses her, are you loyal to Bajor or are you loyal to this Federation peace treaty?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's your real people, you know?
Yeah. Oh, hey, I think that's like the ethical dilemma of the episode, isn't it?
Yeah. You and me right on the same page again. We'll get there.
Yeah. So she goes in to Odo's office so the best scene in this show can happen.
So Kira's torn about this.
She's very torn about this. And she goes to Odo. Now, they do not have really a relationship at this point.
Not that we've seen.
Not like it doesn't seem like that they really talk to each other much. And when I say relationship, I will say relationship a lot. I don't mean are they kissing.
Right.
I mean, do they have a relationship as in do they interact much? Now, obviously, the first officer and the security or the constable are going to interact, but they don't seem to know each other that well.
See, I didn't get that. My interpretation from this scene is that they're friends and they're confidants. That's why she goes to him.
I guess.
And he knows, like she says, like he knows you. I know you more than probably you know, because she asks him, "What do you know about my
more
past?"
than you'd like? I think. Yeah. I think more than I think it's. He implies that he knows more about her than she wants him to know.
Right.
Kind of thing. But this whole episode is fantastic. Or the whole episode, this whole scene. The episode's good. I like the episode.
Well, we should build the scene. So she enters into Odo's office, and she is almost like a therapist in a way. She's trying to bear. She needs someone to talk to bear this turmoil she's having in this internal conflict.
So she comes on the pretense of checking in on some of these things about the other Konma people coming in, right? I think about preparations about that.
Yes.
Yeah. And Odo.
Sorry, go ahead.
Odo says, "Of course, I've got them done." And she sort of stands there waiting for him to ask her what's wrong. And she starts to leave, and he goes, "Major." And she turns around and is like, "There's one thing I've never been able to get right about solids, or about humanoids." He doesn't call them solids yet. Never quite been able to master, and that's pretense.
Yes. Which I love that word.
And it's a great episode because it's as hard for me to fabricate pretense as it is for me to get one of your noses right. And it's a great scene because it establishes Odo is very alien, and it's reminding you that Odo is very, very alien while showing that he knows humanoids. Kira's not human. She's a bumpy-nosed human called a Bajoran. Yeah. And knows humanoids enough to recognize pretense when it exists. And basically is inviting, okay, tell me what's on your mind. And Kira really appreciates that and said, that's what I've always liked about you. You're always direct and to the point.
And, I don't think the dialogue in this scene is really exceptional or anything, but their acting...
The dialogue's pretty decent.
There's no subtlety to it to me, and maybe that's just the nature of TV. What I'm trying to say is the acting is what makes this scene great.
I agree.
It's not the script.
I think the script could have been better here, but the acting elevates it to the point. And that's the thing. Like writing and acting go hand in hand, but I think most of the time writing is more important, but in this scene, the acting was really more important.
And you really see this, it does a good job of expressing this turmoil where she has this past where that's idealistic and violent. Mm-hmm. And she has this inner turmoil of...
not idealistic, ideological.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah. Idealistic in the sense that... in an ideological sense, idealism, where I want this vision of Bajor, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there.
Idealistically, Bajor would join the Federation and be sucked up off into communist utopia with the rest of the Federation.
Well, not to her, because expressed in this episode, idealistically, the Bajor would be independent and not be members of the Federation.
For sure, but realistically, Bajor... the average Bajoran would be...
She's balancing this in her mind. She knows realistically...
the Federation.
Bajor cannot exist by itself.
Yeah.
They'll get wrecked by Cardassia every time. They've got to have a relationship with their neighbors, with the Federation specifically. And this wormhole is going to change Bajor. Yeah. It's going to change it. There's
I think my favorite part of this scene, which is my favorite scene in the episode, I think it's probably both our favorite scenes in the episode. My favorite part is Kira's talking about, I don't remember the whole quote, but she's talking about all this, they represent everything I used to be. And Odo goes, used to be.
Right.
And there's a silence, and Kira says something to the effect of, it was so much easier when I knew who my enemies were. And Odo says nothing else to Kira, just contact Sisko, says, Odo, security is Sisko, there's someone in my office who wants to speak to you. And I thought that bit of writing right there, that is top tier writing.
Well, I like that because Odo is not just a therapist to her.
Yeah.
He's not just like, because what a real friend does, he calls.
Yeah.
He doesn't just let her linger. He makes the decision for her. I know what's in your heart. You're having trouble making this decision, and I'll just make it for you. Sisko, please come down, because I know what's in her heart. She wants to confess. Yeah. So I'll make it happen for you.
Yeah. And Sisko, by the way, was absolutely pissed off that Kira.
Yeah, well, rightfully so.
Kira, he actually said that he would have her take her head on a platter, was his exact words. That.
He was mad that she went over
his head.
Yeah, talk to the admiral.
Yeah. I forget. We didn't mention that Sisko's a scary boss.
Oh yeah,
he's a scary boss.
Absolutely.
I'm not Picard. So she in this conversation, we see Kira accepting that the reality is, like you said, is better than the ideology, right? The reality of the Federation being here. Even though she doesn't like the Federation, she doesn't like that Bajor has to rely on someone else, which there's also an allegory of, I don't want any help. I don't want to rely on anybody. Why do I as a man have to ask for help from someone if I need to take, if I can just take care of my own problems? I should just be able to handle it myself. And turns out sometimes you need a little help. That's some deeper subtext. Dare I say, maybe even esoteric.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I knew you wouldn't be able to get through the podcast without hearing that word at least once. And
well, at this point, she decides she picks a side.
Yeah.
She's going to help the Federation.
She's going to help the Federation.
And so Bashir has this scene where... he's
late.
He's buying a suit.
He's late to the exactly 23:55. And actually, we're supposed to 23:55. It's 23:57, and we do not have time. Here, take this. Get in there. Put on the suit and stay very, very quiet.
So when television is edited, they have a limited amount of time. Mm-hmm. Every second counts. Mm-hmm. So editing on TV is, especially like broadcast TV with commercials, is super tight.
Yes.
There is a scene that I clocked on my stopwatch when he walks in and Garrick grabs him by the arm and gives him a coat to try. And it's 20 seconds of Bashir looking at the coat and seeing if it looks good on him in the mirror.
Well, you know what that is? We need to fill 20 more seconds.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little scenes like that get cut for editing, but they leave some of them in. And the reason I left that one in is because it's funny.
Well, it is a good character thing because it shows Bashir's like vanity.
He is a vain human. Yes. He is a vain human.
Human.
He is human.
We'll get into that.
He's advanced human.
We'll get there.
He's human plus.
Human plus.
Human double plus.
Yeah.
Human. Ultra human.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that'll be a nice.
That'll be a fun episode.
Discussion about what is human.
That's ages away. Oh, we're gonna have to start doing.
That's literally years.
We're gonna have to start doing more than one a week, dude.
I don't know.
Or we're gonna have to start skipping around. I don't know, man.
We'll just do this for years.
3 episodes at once. I'm impatient. I have ADHD, man. You can't do this to me. So.
Kira agrees that they're going to do a mission, right?
They're going to do a mission. They're going to meet the Dura sisters behind one of Bajor's moons. Tana has an antimatter converter, and the Dora sisters are going to give him some magic mineral that makes a super big bomb.
Would hiding behind a moon really work? Okay, Star Trek, another trope. They love them some hiding behind moons.
So, depending on what the sensor net is, right? If there are only sensors on one side of the moon, then it's going to work.
Okay.
It's absolutely going to work. Space is big. And if radar works or subspace sensors work anything like radar, then hiding behind a giant ball of rock is going to be really good at hiding you.
Okay, here's my nitpick though. Mm-hmm. Let me plug. Here's my nitpick.
Yep.
When he says if we blow the bomb up right now, it will blow up the Bajoran colonies on the moon, which means
no, stop. If you looked up right now, can you see the International Space Station?
No, I see blue sky because we're recording this.
If it was nighttime,
it's actually a nice day out today. We had a nice day.
I wanted to go outside and record the podcast,
but that would have been nice.
Maybe someday.
We live in a state where it's not nice like this very often.
Yeah. Anyway, so you can't see something as big as the International Space Station unless it's at night and you're looking for it. and it's orbiting at about, I want to say like 120 miles up, something like that.
So you don't think that their sensors would reveal a ship?
So most things that I would consider like a colony are not going to be constantly scanning the sky above them if they're so close to the parent world, right?
Or maybe they wouldn't even care if they did detect a ship.
Yeah, and also like, okay, there are 2 ships in orbit. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird. That's a Klingon bird of prey. That's kind of cool. They take a picture for their ship spotting calendar and upload it to space Instagram, and they're fine.
Yeah.
So it's, it's a spaceship. It's no big deal. They just don't want Bajor or the station to see them. They don't care if Bajorans see them, right? So they make the trade. The Duras sisters take their money, and then they beam off the ship, and they fly away to go blow up the Enterprise D. Thanks, Benjamin Sisko.
Yeah, we don't see the Duras sisters again. They're gone. That's not resolved.
Honestly, that's good. That's actually good storytelling. These guys just go off and go do their thing.
Yeah, I agree. Do they come back again on DS9?
I don't remember at all. If they come back and he lets them go again, he's double my least favorite captain.
Triple.
In fact, I will no longer blame Troy for the saucer crash. It'll be Sisko.
It was Sisko.
Sisko the whole time. Always Sisko.
Troy did nothing wrong.
There's a reason they threw him into the paw wraith pit at the end. Oh wait, no, that was Spoilers, yeah. Anyway, so long story short, they make the trade. Sisko, again, the commander runs off on a dangerous mission. He would have sent somebody else, but Sisko and O'Brien are in possibly the most heavily armed runabout I've ever seen. It's got like a photon torpedo backpack on it, and they're lurking behind a different moon because it's Star Trek and we have to hide behind moons because Federation ships don't have cloaking devices, so we got to cloak somehow. They are monitoring it somehow. They see the exchange happen, and then they go out to chase him. They want to catch and apprehend Tonalos because, okay, you're still a terrorist and we can't let you do whatever's going to happen. And so Kira is like, oh, so I don't know. They're here. Somehow they found out. It must have been the Duras sisters. They sold you out. And Tana takes that and says, okay, we'll set a course back towards the whatever. It's like, well, it's back towards the station.
Well, at this point, we're going towards the wormhole.
We're going towards the wormhole. Well, but she doesn't know. She says we're going towards the station at first, and they're warping. And she doesn't. She's like, well, I thought you said no one was going to get hurt, and no one will. You have to trust me. And she fights. She goes to fight. She lunges for a phaser on the wall. He slaps her down because he's the bigger terrorist.
She reveals to him that, like, I can't remember the moment, but he figures out that she's working with the Federation. He grabs a phaser. They fight.
No. She makes the first move for the phaser. That's what gives her away.
Okay, but he gets the phaser eventually.
Yeah,
and makes her get back.
She lunges for the phaser, and he like just backhands her down.
Yeah,
it is the most dismissive smack.
Slaps her real hard.
It's. I actually kind of felt bad because Kira's this awesome like warrior woman, and this guy just like, nah, I'm big scary terrorist. You go down on ground. I have phaser now. You drive ship.
Yeah, so he's holding a gun at her head, basically. Yeah, literally saying fly us
towards the wormhole, right? Or fly us in that direction. Sisko cannot catch them because he's in a ship that's the exact same speed. Even though runabouts are the most powerful ships in Starfleet, they can't outrace. Nothing can outrace another runabout, man.
No, the plot armor wasn't thick enough.
The plot armor wasn't thick enough, and the photon torpedoes. If they fire, because you think, okay, terrorist, sorry, collateral damage. Kira, you understood the risks. Fire the torpedo, blow it up. He doesn't want to blow up, but he's got magic linium. I don't remember what the mineral technobabble was, but the magic explosive, and they blow it up. He's going to spread radiation across the whole star system. So they can't just blow him up while he's at warp. And they just go and towards the wormhole. And during this time, Sisko, hey, Goldenar,
calls the Cardassian captain.
Can you get these guys? Can you get them? Because turns out you're right. And Goldenar's line is my favorite. We're finally allies.
Yeah.
And I love that little line. And
well, he says, and I hate, what is it? Basically, I hate to tell you,
no, he goes, I hope that in the future that perhaps you will remember this. And Sisko hangs up on it.
Yeah, he says, I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you, like, I told you so.
Yeah,
Sisko's
like, just because he says he won't be there in time. Sisko's like, well, I can't use you. Forget you. I don't care about you then. And what Kira does is, he's like, okay, set a course for the wormhole. And you have to go through the wormhole pretty slow. Otherwise, you get a bumpy ride and you might make the wormhole aliens angry. And we don't want to do that. Kira, her evasion technique is she goes through the wormhole at full impulse, which is, I think full impulse tops out at like 0.5 light speed. So they are booking. And then the shock of going through the wormhole throws them off their feet and they tussle a little bit. He's trying to launch the whatever explosive while they're in the wormhole. The runabout flies out. Just as he pushes the button, they come out of the wormhole. The explosive flies away from the wormhole and detonates at a safe distance. No, the plot is thwarted. Kira stops the terrorist by fighting her past, basically. She fights her past and beats her past.
Yes.
And firmly places herself in the Bajor needs the Federation camp. And then Sisko and them come through the wormhole and they're like, hey, you can surrender to us, or you can surrender to Gul Dunar. What do you want? And Tanalos looks at Kira and just kind of drops, just like hands her the phaser. Like, I don't want to go back to the Cardassians.
I imagine the Federation prison being like,
we know what a Federation
a nice hotel.
Like. Yeah, it's literally a nice hotel where you talk to counselors all the time.
Yeah,
we've seen it in Voyager. Remember Voyager, the very first episode of Voyager, we go to a Federation prison in New Zealand. That's where they pick up Tom Paris, and it looks like a resort hotel. Yeah. He's like gardening outside. And Tom Paris betrayed his oath to the Federation to join the Maquis. Literally committed treason. Gets to be a gardener.
So the episode kind of ends there. They bring Tana back, and there's this scene where Kira tells Tana that like one day you'll understand, and he just traitor.
Yeah. And then
there's this little beat that I love in that scene. So it's Odo is like kind of got him by the scruff, and Odo and a security guard, and he goes traitor, and he goes to turn around and walk the other way, and Odo and the guard are like, oh nope, you're going the wrong way, buddy. Doors this way. And they like turn him around.
Yeah.
And he and Tana bumps into Kira when he's like, I don't know why. I don't know what the choice was for that.
It might have even been bad blocking or something, but that was funny. Yeah. I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed that the very last scene is just Kira and Sisko walking together, not saying anything.
Yeah.
They don't say anything to each other. There's just this kind of like mutual respect and understanding. He understands that she's hurting and doesn't need to hear it from right now. And
well, he knows where her loyalties.
Yeah, and he understands.
He can trust her now.
He can trust her, and she knows that he's got her back as well.
Yeah,
right. She didn't know that before.
A great early show, character defining episode.
Yeah, and it just I do want to mention one thing that I loved about that whole sequence. Whoever did the compositing for the runabout windows was doing a great job, because they're paying attention to what's outside. Because the runabout's like Sisko's runabout kind of like does this tail slide in front of the other runabout, and when it cuts back inside, you can see the other runabout at the exact correct angle through the window of the runabout by his head. Wow. And you were able to see the planet on the other side. I was like, it's a little thing that nobody would have known, but I noticed, and I thought it was great. Good job, compositors.
Yeah,
good job. Right, that was excellent blue screen work. And it was blue screen back in the day.
Yeah.
It was all blue screen. It was all OG Lucasfilm style. So yeah, so that's the episode. Did you like it?
I did. I mean, we'll get right then into the rating. It's a good.
Yeah, I'm not
asking for a great. It's not a great episode.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I liked it.
It's Star Trek.
Yeah, it is.
It is like a Star Trek. It is a Star Trek episode, which is to say I very much enjoyed it.
Would you say that you like this one less than the last episode?
Yes.
Okay, I'm right there with you. My wife, who's been watching along, to follow along with the podcast because she's an excellent wife, and I love her very much for taking part in my weirdo nerdiness.
She's going to be on the show soon.
She is going to be on the show soon. The very next one, I believe, is the plan. And she says she likes this one better than Emissary.
Interesting.
Because the acting in Emissary is so bad compared to this one.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and she's not wrong. So she has a theater background. So she knows her acting and performance chop stuff. And I kind of argued my point for Emissary, and she was like, nah, I mean, I can see the writing for Emissary is much better than the writing for this episode, but I understand that she likes this one better because the acting did not meet the script in Emissary.
Well, you and me are like so one brain cell sharing, so we agree on almost every single point, so it'll be kind of interesting to have someone else.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for her to argue with us.
Than you and I do. Yeah. 2-on-1.
Argue with me, Leela. Argue with me. So I also like this episode, but less than Emissary. The major theme or dilemma facing the characters in this episode.
I think we said it earlier. It's the argument between idealism and realism. I think we kind of agreed on that.
Yeah, in broad strokes, it's the idea of whether or not you chase your ideals.
And where do you draw that line?
Yeah, where do you draw that line? Because
you want some idealism.
Yeah.
You don't want to just be a pure cold-hearted realist.
No, exactly. But you, at some point, you realize that reality is better than your ideals.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to alter your ideals. I'm not saying like your beliefs, not like your core beliefs, but you have to be able to accept a different ideology from time to time in order to accept the reality of the situation, which is so important, not only for individuals, but for societies, I think.
Like for Kira, ideally for her, idealistically, Bajorans would have total control of their solar system.
Ideally,
there would be no Federation. There'd be no Cardassians.
If Kira had her way, Bajor would have a fleet of Galaxy-class starships hanging out in Bajor at all times. That's what she wants. But they're Bajoran Galaxy-class starships, crewed by Bajoran Space Force, whatever they call themselves.
With enough will and enough stomach for violence, maybe she could make that happen in the long term. But in the short term, it's not going to happen. And she decides she doesn't have... It's a line too far.
She's not willing to pay the price.
Yes.
And I also don't think she thought collapsing the wormhole was going to lead to a better Bajor. Because with the Federation there and Bajor becoming a major trade hub for exploration and trade through the Gamma Quadrant, Bajor's going to get stronger, period.
And by the way, Tana is right in that he calls her a hypocrite because the fact that she's willing to fight the Cardassians but not the Federation for the same goal. That's life, though. Life is saying things and doing the opposite. There's a lot of that.
We should avoid trying to be hypocrites, I think, but yes.
But that's the thing. You will have your ideals, and you can't meet those ideals all the time, and that's just gonna make you take hypocritical actions. It's
like chasing perfection, right? Chasing perfection, because an ideal is your idea of perfection, not necessarily objective perfection. Come at me, bro. There is an objective perfection. I just don't know what it is. So, but you cannot be perfect. It's impossible for a human to be perfect. I think we agree with that,
I
right?
agree. We're like a small minority of this world that we agree on that.
So, but
at least in
that doesn't mean
times.
you shouldn't try to strive for perfection, because as Data says, it does not matter whether or not we meet our ultimate goal, but the journey itself reveals the reward. Is its own reward, I believe is the quote. And that's from Offspring, which is that's Data's daughter episode.
That's a big TNG. That dialogue is in more than that just episode. The idea that the journey
journey is the reward.
Is the reward, right?
The real Latinum was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
So we don't disagree on that. Kira, obviously the main character of this episode.
The question, who is the main character? Obviously Major Kira.
They try to fake you out and make you think it's Julian, but no, he's very much a supporting character here. Even Sisko is just a supporting character. The main characters of this episode, I think, are Kira and Tanalos.
And I think they penciled it in the schedule. I mean, it's right after the pilot, and it's to establish her as a character.
Yes, absolutely.
The episode title, Past Prologue, is about her as a character.
Absolutely. Let's see. Is there a scene you feel could be left out?
Well, the Bashir coat scene has to stay. Okay, that's for certain. We need that one. I don't think the Duras sisters need to be in this episode. I think that could be another Bajoran, honestly. It's total TNG.
Yeah.
It's just, hey, you guys watch TNG. Everybody likes the Duras sisters.
But then I don't have someone to blame.
Yeah.
So I think they need to be in here.
Other than that, there's no scene I would cut from this.
Yeah.
This episode is so tightly cut together.
It is well constructed.
You couldn't cut. There's no bad scene in it, I don't think.
No, there's not. There isn't a scene like that Nog scene where it's like, why are we watching him steal from a store?
Yeah.
I get why that one was there. When we were talking earlier about Sisko hangs up. My last note on my note is Sisko loves hanging up on people.
He loves a good hang up.
He loves a good hang up. Our favorite scene is the same one. We talked about this, is the scene in Odo's security office where Kira starts to decide, Odo finishes deciding to tell Sisko about Tanalos and their plan and to help the Federation over helping the Khon-Ma.
If you're going to watch one scene from this episode, that's going to be the scene.
And the acting is superb.
Yeah.
And Renee Abernourgeois, it's French, man. I can't do it. But he is, at the beginning, he is easily the best actor in the entire show. And I think that pretty much stays. He's a phenomenal actor. And if he's in anything, you should watch it. He shows up in Stargate a lot. He shows up in other episodes of Star Trek as other characters. He shows up in all sorts of things. And it's a shame that he's passed away. He passed away a couple years ago, I think. Maybe more than that now. I don't know. Time's weird when you have kids. All right.
So the Senior Chief Petty Officer Miles Edward O'Brien's scale of torture.
Yep. How much did O'Brien suffer in this episode?
So I went 0.32 lights. Now he has to remember the bad times he had with the Cardassians. He tells Sisko he wouldn't want to be a Cardassian prisoner, which, by the way, he says almost word for word the same thing in the previous episode. Like copy and paste.
O'Brien is back to his TNG days in this, where he has 3 lines and he only exists to push the buttons or drive the ship. That's all he's here for.
They brought him on and they haven't. Now he becomes an important character, but right now, these first few episodes, he's
not very
just
important
as minor as he ever was.
Yeah. Which is a shame because Cole Meany, again, a great actor. He really is a good actor. And yeah, I agree. I said he doesn't really suffer in this episode at all.
How many lights?
I don't think there's a light on at all.
Ooh, 0 lights.
I don't see any lights.
0 lights.
There are no lights.
It was a great day for Senior Chief Petty Officer Miles Edward O'Brien.
It was. He didn't suffer. This is one of the few episodes that he didn't suffer at all. And the reason I say that is while he was reminded of what the torture he got to save somebody from that. While saving the wormhole and running a runabout at max speed through a wormhole, and just he got to go on a walk, he got to get away from the station, be on a Federation ship again. It was just a runabout, but he got to be on a Federation ship for a while, do Federation ship stuff, and save somebody from the Cardassians and thumb his nose at a Cardassian.
What you're saying is the real main character of the episode was Miles O'Brien. I agree. Let's move on to the next point.
Is this episode science fiction as we have defined it in this podcast? I'm going to say no.
I went hard no.
Yeah.
You could change aspects of this. I mean, a bomb is a bomb. The wormhole could be a bridge or...
Yeah,
I mean,
none of this needs the technology. This could be set in 1950s East Germany.
Yeah, it could be set 1,000 years ago. I mean, really, it's nothing is...
It's a good story that happens in a sci-fi setting, but the story itself isn't science fiction.
Correct.
Overall score.
I went 2.75, which I know in a modern rating, people are going to say, oh, that's bad. To me, that's good. It's kind of middle of the line. It's a good episode to me.
I gave it a 3. I think.
Yeah, so we're kind of in line there.
I think it's maybe a 3.5. That scene with Kira and Odo made a big impression on me, and I liked Kira finding herself and getting to know her. So I think, yeah, maybe like a 3.2. You know, like my GPA in high school.
To me, it's a nice tight episode. There's no fat to it, but there's nothing. It's not a big standout episode. That's a good scene. That's not the best scene you'll see in Star Trek, and nothing. It's just a real kind of by the numbers episode for the most part. Which is to say, I like by the numbers. By the way, this is why I love this show. So 2.75 to me is not.
Yeah,
in my rating system, 1 through 5, 2.75. Like if we're doing 1's bad, 2 is kind of average, okay, 3 is good, 4 is like great, and 5 is just one of the best pieces of fiction ever written.
Yeah. So the mathematically is how I'm doing it. Below 3 is worse than average. 3 is average. 4 is above average, and 5 is perfect.
Yeah.
So a 3 is exactly an average. That's why I was like, a little bit of a 3. I think this is an above average episode. I think it is above average, but I don't think it is a standout episode at all.
No.
Although, thanks for being in it, Vaughn Armstrong. You're an awesome guy.
Well, other than that, what's our next episode's title?
It is A Man Alone.
And we're going to have Chris's wifey on for that one.
This is true.
She's already watched the whole episode?
She has. I have not yet.
You are not allowed to talk to her. About that episode.
Yeah. I'm
for the next week, you guys cannot speak because there might be a small chance that you mention something about it.
I'm going to talk to my wife.
No.
I'm going to talk to her.
No.
I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to talk to my wife. I won't talk to her about the episode.
All right.
We might watch it together.
Okay.
But I don't think we're going to.
You know what? You should watch it separately first, or one of the way or the other. Maybe you should watch it separately first and then watch it together. That'd be kind of interesting. I
don't know. Well, I mean, the TV's in the bedroom, so.
All right.
We'll see. I could get distracted while watching it. It's possible. It might be better if I watch it alone.
Okay.
And on that note, I can't do any of my wacky sound effects because we're using Matt's fancy Steinberg.
You are 44.
Yeah, the letter number. He's turning this podcast into Star Trek with his technobabble.
Basically, so
yeah.
Now I don't have to line the tracks up.
Yeah, but, okay. This works.
Technobabble.
Technobabble. Thanks everybody for watching. Oh, no, wait. Reading. No. Listening. That
Braille. We're putting our podcast out on Braille now.
Braille. Thanks everyone for touching. No, I retract that. I retract that immediately. Okay, so thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next week on Chris and Matt Talk About That.
Bye-bye.